Since the bill was introduced in Parliament in 2011, there have been attempts by the opposition and human rights activists to have it withdrawn on reasons that it will curtail the people's freedom to assemble. The ruling government that introduced the bill has also defended it, and it is now at the committee stage for amendments. But Parliament is not making headway to amend the bill, as the opposition stands opposed to many clauses that they think are in violation of the Constitution.
It's very difficult when you bring a law and you can't define the major terms in the bill. For example, the government side has failed to define what constitutes a public place, what constitutes a public meeting, what the term regulation stands for in this bill. And because they can't define the major terms in the bill, we cannot move on to consider clause by clause because they are all related.
The issue of freedom and right is constitutional. And if we are talking about God-given rights, then nobody should take them away. So the minister had to spend time to explain the intentions behind why regulate the exercise of freedom.
But the Internal Affairs Minister James Baba, who is in charge of the bill, disagrees with those who are opposed to it.
But they're only looking at one side of their rights. But there are also obligations which are contained in Article 43, where you must not also interfere with the rights of others, especially in public places, in highways, in markets, in places where other people have access to. They should respect the rights of others.
The reason why this bill is introduced is because of these past experiences where we have had riotous demonstrations and you lose life and property. Now it is the duty of the state to protect the lives of citizens. It is also the duty of the state to protect my property.
The 15-page bill has only 15 clauses. The bill empowers the Inspector General of Police to regulate the conduct of all public meetings, requires an organizer to give a 7-day notice in writing to the Inspector General of Police of the intention to hold the meeting. It also empowers the authorized officer to stop or prevent the holding of a public meeting where the meeting is held contrary to the law or where a meeting poses danger or breach of peace.
If you are standing somewhere and people come to you, you are not supposed to talk to them anything politics. Maybe you can talk about beer and sex and football, but you can't talk anything to political. But if you are an MP, you'll always have people coming to you. And there's a clause 8 here, which is very, very contentious, which says the police will determine the suitable venue for my meetings.
It is notification. You give them enough time so that you, the organizer, and the police can organize. You need to book the venue, you need to organize chairs, you need to organize loudspeakers, you need time to organize that. And for the police, they also need time to mobilize, to determine the size of the traffic that will flow in that area and so forth. So you need that notification to prepare. It is not prohibiting, it is not controlling.
What police has been doing illegally, this law seeks to make legal. And we are so worried because in the past they have been harassing us without a law, and it will be so dangerous if we equip them now with this law.
James Baba cannot be part of a bill or a law that targets specific people. James Baba cannot be part of a bill which makes exceptions to some category of society. No, it applies across the board.
The bill also empowers the minister responsible for internal affairs to declare a particular area gazetted area and also prohibits a person from entering the gazetted area, among others. But the bill also prohibits a police officer from using firearms unless in self-defense against imminent threat of death or injury.
This bill gives the Inspector General of Police a lot of power, more power than anybody else. He can regulate anybody. If the president uses, if this bill is passed and the president uses the Inspector General of Police, he can stop all his opponents from doing any campaign, because the power to talk to anybody, anywhere, apart from in your home, will be resting with the police.
Besides, and more fundamental, in this bill, we bring in the responsibility of the organizers, the responsibility of participants to make sure whatever meetings they have, whatever demonstrations they have, they also have some responsibilities to undertake.
We shall oppose this bill here in Parliament, and in an unlikely event that we fail to defeat them here, we shall go back to court.
If passed into law, anybody who does not comply commits an offense and is punishable by imprisonment not exceeding 2 years. Agnes Nandutu, NTV, Parliament.